that? What?
A security guard was doing his rounds alone inside a closed movie theater when he suddenly heard something that made him stop. It sounded like a child crying somewhere inside the building, but the theater had been closed for hours, with no movies running and no guests inside. Still, from somewhere in the dark, empty complex, the sound of a small child sobbing could be heard. In the recording, a young child appears near the ticket counter, crying and looking upset. At first, it seems like a lost kid who may have wandered away from their parents, but the guard said that made no sense because the building had supposedly been empty since early morning. That's why he didn't go straight over. Instead, he stopped, kept his distance, and started recording because something about the scene felt off. As the child slowly moved toward the far end of the theater, the crying suddenly stopped. No footsteps, no voice, no door opening. The whole place went completely silent, almost like the child had disappeared into the darkness. The guard later searched every hallway, theater room, restroom, and restricted area he could access, but found nothing. No child, no open exit, and no sign of how anyone got in or vanished. No missing child report was filed, and no parents came forward. So the mystery remains. Was it a strange misunderstanding or something paranormal inside an empty movie theater? Kay is a TikTok user who normally posts simple, everyday updates, but her job as a nurse puts her inside a high-security hospital lockdown ward, a place that already feels eerie at night. One evening, she shared CCTV footage from a dark, unused lockdown room that had been closed off and left empty for the day. No patients or staff were supposed to be inside, but as the camera kept recording, something suddenly appeared in the darkness.
What? What the hell?
From the start, the figure in the room looks unsettling. A pale, human-like shape appears behind one of the columns, almost hiding in the dark. The longer the footage plays, the stranger it gets, with an unnaturally tall body, stretched limbs, and stiff, jerky movements that don't look like a normal person walking through a hospital room. At one point, a sudden flash of light seems to come from the figure itself, making the clip even harder to explain. No clear answer has been found for where the light came from or how something with those proportions got inside a secured ward. Was it a person hiding in the room or something paranormal caught on CCTV? A group of hikers was exploring a remote forest when they suddenly found something really strange hidden deep between the trees. The structure seemed like it had been deliberately put together using branches and logs, and the area around it made things even creepier. The hikers claimed there were signs someone had been there recently, including what looked like a fresh near the entrance. That instantly sparked a lot of theories. Some people think these kinds of structures are connected to Bigfoot stories, especially because they're usually found in isolated forests. Others believe it could have a more human explanation, maybe something related to hunting, or even a ritual. But when you find something that deep in the woods, far away from people, it really makes you question who or what made it. A woman from Alberta, Canada, known on TikTok as Renana007, usually posts normal everyday content like travel clips, daily vlogs, and simple moments from her life. Her account doesn't seem focused on ghosts or paranormal videos, which makes this clip feel more unexpected. While working a night shift as an on-site security guard in Alberta, a routine patrol suddenly turned unsettling when she noticed a strange figure moving in the darkness far ahead. Whatever it was looked unusual enough that she quickly pulled out her phone and started recording.
How is it? Raylan!
At first, it could easily be mistaken for a trespasser walking through the grass, but the longer the clip plays, the stranger it looks. The figure doesn't move like a normal person, instead gliding forward in a smooth, unnatural way, almost as if its feet aren't touching the ground properly. When the footage is brightened, it becomes even more disturbing. The humanoid shape appears to have no clear face, no visible skin, and a body covered in thick, dark fur. Still shaken and looking for answers, she returned to the area on another night and recorded the same figure again from inside her car. This time, it seemed to notice her. In the second clip, the figure is no longer just moving along the edge of the property. Its focus seems locked directly on the car as it slowly starts closing the distance, step by step, with a calm but terrifying purpose. Panic kicks in, and the driver quickly reverses, but the faceless figure keeps moving forward through the headlights like it has no fear at all. Eventually, there's no point trying to understand what it is, and they leave the area. So the question remains, was this just a strange person caught in the wrong place, or did the Alberta security guard come face to face with something much more disturbing? A strange video started spreading online after a woman said a doll in her house was haunted. According to her, the doll would sometimes move by itself, but a lot of people didn't believe her and thought it might be staged. So, to prove she wasn't making it up, she placed a camera inside a small storage closet and began live streaming the doll non-stop. The doll didn't seem to move at first, but then everything around it suddenly went crazy. Boxes, containers, and other random stuff were thrown across the closet, smashing down near the doll and even landing on top of it. There was no clear reason for it, no wind, no person in the room, and nothing obvious causing the mess. Some people believed the doll was actually cursed, while others claimed they noticed it shift slightly right before everything started flying. Since the source of the video can't be confirmed, no one really knows what happened. The video comes from Scrawny Mountain Man, a US-based wilderness channel known for solo backpacking in remote desert areas. On November 6, 2023, while exploring the Nightmarish Canyon Wilderness Study Area, the creator was moving through rocky canyon terrain when he noticed something unusual. Near a group of rocks, the ground looked disturbed, pressed down, and shaped differently from the area around it.
So my suspicions proved true. There is a midget-fitted rattlesnake under that little crevasse. That's so exciting. I've always wanted to see one of these. There it is. Under that little crevasse. That's so exciting. I've always wanted to see one of these. There it is. Midget-fitted rattlesnake. Amazing. I'm shaking, not because I'm nervous for any particular reason. Just I've always wanted to see one of these, and I can't believe it's right here. Oh my gosh.
Then, the hidden shape became clear. A pale rattlesnake curled tightly beneath the rocks, blending almost perfectly into the desert ground. It had not moved, made noise, or reacted, but it had been close the entire time. He stayed still, kept his distance, and simply watched. The snake remained calm inside its shelter, showing no aggression. The tension came from how easily the danger could have been missed. One careless step, one wrong angle, or a little less attention could have changed everything. Moments like this are frightening because nothing dramatic has to happen. The threat can already be right there, almost invisible. A TikTok user known as the Screams at Night said they would often wake up to strange noises coming from the woods. One night, they finally managed to catch it on camera, recording loud, intense screams, echoing through the darkness in a way that sounded seriously unsettling. Some people think the screams could have just been an animal, since sounds can travel strangely at night and become harder to recognize in the dark. But the person who recorded it didn't seem convinced by that explanation. So the big question remains, what was really making those terrifying screams out in the woods? Was it just wildlife, or was something else out there? The clip comes from Rick's Paranormal Adventures, a UK-based solo paranormal channel known for haunted woodland investigations and overnight spirit sessions. On April 28, 2026, Rick is alone in Blay Woods, Bradford, setting up his equipment as daylight fades. Almost immediately, he starts acting uneasy, stopping often to scan the trees and saying he feels watched, even before anything clearly happens. The woods remain quiet, but his reactions make the atmosphere tense from the start.
You know, I'm not joking, the atmosphere here is awful. I'm genuinely terrified. Mouth's gone all dry. Is there any spirits with me? Off.
During the spirit box session, the atmosphere becomes more tense. Rick starts reacting to sounds coming from different directions in the woods, repeatedly stopping to listen. Nothing is clearly identified, but as the session continues, his reactions become more anxious and less controlled.
Proper sense of not being alone. Hello? Spirits? Are you with me? I'm not joking, guys, this is eerie. So eerie. Spirits, come show yourself on this camera. Come show yourself to me.
Later, while checking the EVP recordings, Rick notices what sounds like a faint bang in the background. He questions whether it came from the woods, his equipment, or something close by. The unsettling part is not just the noise itself, but the fact that he cannot clearly figure out where it came from.
Is there any spirits with me today? Can you come and show yourself by knocking this light to red? Thank you, Spirit. Let's have a bit of a walk around, see if we can pick anything up. Spirits, come show yourself on my device. Thank you, Spirit. Is that you? Can you knock it to red?
A sudden, loud noise breaks the silence from deeper in the woods. Rick turns to check it out while trying to handle both cameras at the same time. The investigation quickly becomes less controlled as he shifts from recording calmly to trying to follow an unknown sound in the dark.
I have to use both though because this one's picking up my microphone. So there is definitely hearing things. Let's go for a walk in these woods and we'll see if anything shows up. A bit of editing to do on these, I think. Hello? Me, man, what is going on? I'm hearing all sorts. I think I'm just on edge. Hi spirits, my name's Richard. Can you come and show yourself to me? Can you let your presence be known? Make a loud noise.
The app starts throwing out broken warnings like "watch out" and "battle here." The words are unclear, but they clearly affect Rick. As the night goes on, every sound and interruption makes him more unsettled. Nothing solid is ever seen, and the responses are too vague to prove anything, but the constant disturbances slowly turn the investigation from calm to uncomfortable. By the end, Rick seems less focused on communicating and more unsure about staying in the woods at all. TikTok user Sabrina Coven says strange things had been happening in her apartment for some time, from doors moving on their own to drawers sliding open with no one around. At first, it seemed like small, creepy moments that could be brushed off, but they started happening too often to ignore. Then one night, her CCTV captured something much more unsettling. Around 5:41 in the morning, her cat was calmly walking through the living room when something suddenly happened. Out of nowhere, the cat seems to be thrown into the air and dragged across the floor toward the dining room by something invisible. It starts hissing aggressively, reacting as if something is attacking it, while the other pets also appear disturbed. Moments later, a chair under the dining table seems to move on its own, and the noise wakes Sabrina, who rushes out to check. Luckily, the pets are unharmed, but the CCTV footage leaves her confused. Sabrina says the cat could not have jumped like that naturally because it is missing one leg. So the question remains, was it a strange accident, or did the camera capture possible poltergeist activity inside her apartment? D-Dog, the explorer behind D-Dog Vlogs, is known for exploring abandoned places and capturing the eerie beauty of forgotten industrial sites. His bold, risky style makes each discovery feel intense and unpredictable. In one video, he arrives at a massive abandoned factory district, pointing out the heavy security, the huge scale of the area, and how careful the exploration needs to be before heading deeper inside.
A part of the city, and within that is a bunch of abandoned factories, so we're gonna go check them out. The problem with this video, and like a lot of my videos, is there's so much security around here that we're gonna have to really be careful. And walking over there, I just discovered something. This is an old government building, but it's wide open and there's gonna be so much security, so we're gonna have to be careful.
He eventually finds a small gap in a gate, but with security cameras around and guards patrolling the area, he has to stay extremely careful. Under the bright sun, he keeps looking for a safe way inside and notices a worn path, suggesting others may have already sneaked through before. As he gets closer to the barbed wire, the chance of being spotted makes every step feel risky.
There's a guy right at that Jeep, so I gotta be quiet, but right dead ahead, I think, is an abandoned factory. It's got barbed wire all the way around it though. I don't know how we're gonna get in there. There's the guy. I'm gonna duck so he can't see me. But I wonder if I can squeeze under there.
After carefully working his way around, he manages to get over the fence and stays close to the bushes to avoid being seen. Once inside, the massive size of the factory complex makes the whole place feel even more intimidating, while the thought of security vehicles possibly driving around the area adds even more tension to the exploration.
There's a truck. Oh, this is so sketchy. But there's a pathway leading up to this fence where the barbed wire isn't. So, and you can see a trail where it looks like people have been walking through. So we're gonna go check it out, if we can get out of here without getting seen. People probably do this at nighttime now. There's another car. There's another car. Oh my god, this is sketchy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get over this fence, guys. Another. This place is popular. There's a bunch of businesses over there, right on the same property, but it's making it super sketchy to get in there.
He notices the boarded up windows, which make it clear the building has been abandoned for a long time. But even with the place clearly empty, getting inside isn't easy, and finding a proper entry point becomes the next challenge.
Stuck out in the wide open now. Over there's used. I hope they don't see me. That, I think, is abandoned. This is super sketchy. This is super sketchy. Look at those guys. There's hope nobody sees me. But we're going there.
He eventually finds a way in and slips inside the building, but the lack of a flashlight makes the dark interior feel much more intense. Realizing how unprepared he is, he admits the situation has become far more dangerous and unsettling than expected.
Holy guys. Yeah, I definitely wish I brought my flashlight. We'll be coming back here. Oh yeah. Ah, I've seen pictures of this place.
Inside, the factory feels massive, with several floors and endless rooms stretching in every direction. He moves through the dusty, decaying space as the silence hangs heavy around him, broken only by the creaks of the old building and the sound of his footsteps echoing through the empty halls.
Holy crap, guys. Whoa. There's so many rooms I can't even get in because I don't have my flashlight.
He grows uneasy as the thin old stairs look too weak to trust, and the thick, untouched dust makes it seem like no one has entered the place in years. As he moves deeper into the factory, a sudden noise stops him cold, making it feel like he might not be alone. With no one nearby and no easy way out, the danger starts to feel real. The heavy silence, strange sounds, distant lights, and faint voices all add to the feeling that someone could be watching, forcing him to move carefully through the huge, echoing factory.
I hear movement. I don't know. There's a weird light right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Who's that?
He comes across a race car inside the abandoned factory, a strange and unexpected find in a place like that. As he keeps exploring, he also finds old paperwork, giving a small glimpse into the people and work that once filled the building. Then, the discovery of several safes makes the place feel even more mysterious, suggesting it may have held something valuable back when it was still active.
I found a race car. Look at this, guys. Old paperwork.
He hears clear movement somewhere inside the factory and notices a flickering red light, but then everything suddenly goes quiet, making the place feel even more unsettling. As he continues, he finds areas blocked off with police tape and even spots blood on the floor near a safe, suggesting something serious may have happened there. The basement feels far too risky to enter alone, and with the huge factory becoming more confusing the deeper he goes, he decides it's time to look for a way out, passing even more disturbing areas along the way.
Oh. Why the police line? What the happened in here? What happened in here? Is there blood on the floor? That's weird. Is that a safe? Whoa. Found a safe, guys.
With his camera battery almost dead, D-Dog decides to leave before exploring the police-marked areas any further. He mentions possibly coming back for a 3 a.m. challenge or even an overnight stay, asking viewers what they think. But after everything he found inside, the experience clearly stays with him. Exploring abandoned places can already feel unsettling, but it becomes even darker when the location seems to carry signs of a disturbing past. This under 30-minute exploration is on YouTube under the title Rooted Expeditions Jeeper Creeper House. Once the inside is revealed, it becomes clear why entering certain abandoned places alone can be a serious mistake.
Ding dong. Hello? 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 Hello?
As they entered, the house quickly became confusing, older sections mixed with newer additions, making the layout feel uneven and easy to get lost in. At first, it did not seem too dangerous, but the situation was about to change.
It's plastic. Wow, look at the old wood frames. Guys, you just gotta be very careful where you step. Wow. Oh, pocket door. Oh, pocket door, guys. So you see?
While moving through the kitchen and living areas, Zach started noticing strange details that did not quite make sense. At the time, he had no idea the house was leading into something much more disturbing.
Oh, shower. So this must have been the master bath, guys. Or the master bedroom. All the mold. Bathroom, toilet. And that looks like an add-on right there, guys. This is the old carpet. Old carpet. Look at this little sunroom, I guess. Top of room. It's so cool. Look at the windows, guys. Really watch our step, guys. I'll fall through here.
The warning signs became clear when they found the basement entrance. Without knowing what waited below, they continued inside. The deeper they went, the more the house felt strangely active, almost leading them towards something hidden.
Hey, bro. Oh, where you at? Alright, we're really gonna try to get up here. You want to? Yeah. Okay, babe, I'm coming.
That looks like that could be falling apart, but
It really does, dude.
look, guys.
Okay, guys. I'm only doing this because I have backup.
Going upstairs. Me and Rooted.
Okay. Really watch your step. Wow, guys. This is the old stuff right here. The cloth, guys. That's the real old school stuff.
Strange changes in the floor plan, missing closets, and a heavy, unknown smell made it clear that something about the house was seriously wrong.
This is probably one of the coolest houses I've been into, guys. Just because of how old it is. This is... The door was ripped off. Old hinges. Guys, I'm going to say this is about 1800s. Late 1800s, probably 1880s. Yeah, guys, I believe this is 1880s. And also, during the early 90s, it had a lot of add-on, you could tell. Wow, guys. This is really cool. Salute, trying to make it across. Look at this. Oh, yeah. That's real wood, guys. That's the real flooring that they used to use back in the day. Look at this. I know as you notice, a lot of the corner pieces are missing here on a lot of the slots. But the reason why is that they would use these. I know a lot of people know who they use these in the big mansion homes now. But this is the real deal. This is where it came from. I don't know what this is, but looks really cool. Wow. Farmland, guys.
Soon after they reached the cellar, the last hidden part of the property, what they found there changed the whole mood. In the dark near the outbuildings, animal remains were scattered on the ground. Zach quickly realized this was no longer just an abandoned house tour, but something far more disturbing.
So cool, guys. So this is the little cellar. It's just a little cellar. It's real moldy. Oh, look, guys. Washer, dryer. Dryer right there. But yeah. So, guys, I told you there is a second way down here. This is the Jeeper Creepers. Yeah.
Finding fresh bones shook them badly, and leaving became the only thing that made sense. To get out, they had to move back through the same dark, confusing house, where every turn made the place feel more threatening. Sometimes danger is not something visible. Sometimes it is the smell, the silence, and the feeling that something is wrong.
Oh, guys. Look at this old refrigerator. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm digging this. Oh, guys. Freaking bones. Oh my gosh, guys. I just like walked all over this stuff. Freaking bones, guys.
They made it out of the property safely, but the mystery around the Jeepers Creeper house remained. Some thought it was just a place where animals had been living, while others believed something darker was connected to it. Online, people shared different theories, but no clear answer ever came out. Even after leaving, Zach and his crew were still disturbed by what they had found and what they could not explain. The clip comes from Dando's Retro, a UK channel known for wild camping and paranormal-style investigations. On October 3rd, 2024, the group camps overnight in Witchwood Forest. The weather is bad from the start, with heavy rain, cold conditions, and poor visibility keeping them inside the tent. That makes the situation more tense because they cannot clearly see what is happening around them.
Perfect opportunity to talk about some of the history of Witchwood Forest. Witchwood Forest dates back to ancient times. It's meant to be one of the UK's most ancient woodlands. Now, if you go on Google and type in, most haunted forest in the world, chances are this one will pop up. I don't know how they scale these forests on the most haunted scale, but this is meant to be the most haunted one in the UK and the third most haunted forest in the world. 2 places behind Hiabachu Forest that I've been to before. So, Witchwood Forest was actually in the Doomsday Book, 1086, I think I remember it being, and it was named as the Royal Forest. So the reason why it's called the Royal...
They start using the spirit box, trying to contact whatever may be linked to the forest, including a name connected to Amy. The first replies are broken and unclear. A few words seem to match local legends, but the messages never stay consistent enough to prove a real conversation is happening.
My road is the worst.
Before I heard it say the horse is here, and there's a legend of a horse with pulling a coach, right, that goes through here, and there's 2 sobbing children in the back of it.
Maybe ask on that.
Well,
I struggle to see with the smoke.
if there is anyone else here other than Amy, feel free to let yourselves know. If we hear the sound of galloping hooves, or if you want to make the sound through this, let me know.
They bring in more equipment, placing a music box and other devices around the camp while asking for a response. A few minor disturbances happen, but nothing repeats clearly enough to prove a pattern. Their reactions stay cautious, with no solid conclusion.
Hello? What was that? Is that the animal? Is that you? Are you near the REM pod or the music box?
Bro, no, listen to me. That sounded like a laugh.
Yeah, well, I thought.
It sounded like someone sniggering.
Like taking the mick out of us.
Yeah.
Do you like it that we're stuck in the rain? And
I swear to God, the audio has to have picked that up. Has to have. It literally sound.
Play it back.
Hell. I thought I saw a shadow up there then on that on that the line of the hill. It's like it was laughing. Something was laughing at us because of the rain.
Because we're getting wet, our fire's dying out, and it's probably having a right good laugh at us. If you think it's funny that we're out in the rain.
A faint laugh, almost like a woman sniggering, comes from somewhere outside the camp. Both of them stop instantly. The sound stands out because it is clear enough to cut through the rain and interrupt the session.
The audio has to have picked that up. Has to have. It literally sound.
You can play it back.
Now, I thought I saw a shadow up there then on that on that the line of the hill. It's like it was laughing. Something was laughing at us because of the rain.
Because we're getting wet, our fire's dying out, and it's probably having a right good laugh at us.
If you think it's funny that we're out in the rain, make yourself known.
I heard it.
I heard it.
I hope to God it picked up on the audio. It sounded like someone went, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Like a mischievous.
But it sounded like a woman.
Yeah, it did. Amy? Was that you?
Soon after, another noise comes from deeper in the forest, sounding either like a scream or movement in the distance. They also notice a quick shift of light, but the rain and poor visibility make it impossible to tell what it was. Nothing lasts long enough to prove anything paranormal. The scene works mainly because of the setting: bad weather, darkness, background noise, and sudden sounds that keep breaking the tension. By the end, it feels less like clear evidence and more like a night where every brief disturbance is hard to explain. The clip comes from The Witch in the Woods, a UK channel centered on solo walks through old forests, folklore locations, and historic sites. On September 21st, 2020, she is exploring Sherwood Forest in Nottinghamshire. The mood changes when the clear paths start breaking into narrow, uneven tracks under heavy tree cover. As the route becomes harder to match with her map, the walk turns from simple navigation into trying to read the forest around her.
I might go sit on the log over there so water exposed to them. Look, there's the log. Sit down, have a cup of tea. Or drink of orange. That kind of looks hilly, but I don't think that's the right place. And there's a path there which wasn't on a map. Makes me wonder if I'm in the right place. Sit down, I'm on top of a hill. It's a little path leading up, it's not... Anyway, signposted. Makes me think...
The area looks mostly unmarked, with no clear signs showing whether she has reached the right place. Instead of a confirmed discovery, the moment becomes more about reading the surroundings and trying to make sense of the landscape.
Like weathering on the top, that's not really being on the ground. A little while. Yes, it's weird. When I first arrived here, I felt that I wasn't welcome. But now that I'm here and I've given an offering, I feel that the spirit of place with, with me being here. I've just read a little about the information, and it's been a meeting place for thousands of years. In fact, all the paths in the forest lead to this hill. And I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely convinced that it's not a burial mound. They know nothing about this place. They've never excavated it. As it says, secrets are undiscovered. I feel that a spirit presence is there.
While sitting on the mound, she considers whether old structures or hidden chambers may have once existed beneath the ground. The focus becomes more historical, imagining how people may have gathered or held assemblies in that area long ago.
I feel like you're being watched here. Anybody could be watching you from the trees. And any movement makes you feel a bit wary. As I say, imagine bears and wolves in here. Much back. How you walk around so complacently. Well, I'm nearly getting back to my car. When I say nearly, not long now. So I think I've been here about 3 or 4 hours. And it's very easy to spend a lot of time here. The sun's going down. I'm getting the orange light. Of course, it's hard to tell, because you can't really see the sky. It could be getting on for being 5 o'clock. It feels like it. Hungry. Again. So, leaving this ancient track behind, taking to the roads.
Near the edge of the woods, her unease briefly returns before she leaves. Nothing clearly paranormal happens, no figures, voices, or direct activity. The tension comes from the setting itself. Confusing paths, isolation, old history, and the feeling of losing direction. By the end, the forest feels unsettling, not because of one clear event, but because the deeper she goes, the harder everything becomes to understand. A TikTok user called Flyfish Delaware was fishing in a quiet wooded area when he suddenly heard a loud cracking sound from across the water. Seconds later, he saw a tree snap and crash down for no obvious reason. There didn't seem to be any strong wind or anything else around that could explain why it fell so suddenly. Moments like this usually lead people to think about stories of massive creatures moving unseen through the woods, powerful enough to snap trees without much effort. Some viewers wondered if this could be connected to the Bigfoot legend, while others felt there might be a much more ordinary explanation behind it. A hiker near Chicago noticed movement in the woods and recorded what appeared to be a huge reptile-like creature. It seemed to move on either 2 or 4 legs, with a thick tail hanging close to the ground. Its shape and movement did not look human. Some viewers thought it could be an unknown animal, while others connected it to local creature legends, including strange reptilian reports and the Chicago Mothman stories. But the clip leaves one question: could something like that really be out there? On March 18, 2023, explorer Andy from Expedition Novak visited the Odd Fellows home in Liberty, Missouri, along with his collaborator DIY with McPhil. At first, the video looked like a normal abandoned place vlog, but the location quickly gave off an unsettling feeling. The massive property was once an orphanage, with one side now turned into a winery and the other left abandoned, making the whole exploration feel strange from the start.
Here with a collaboration with DIY with McPhil. We got a special for you today, taking us back home. We're in Liberty, Missouri. Welcome to the Odd Fellows.
As they started exploring, the place immediately felt tense, almost like its history was still hanging in the air. They moved through the worn-down building, passing old rooms and broken areas, until an aged television caught their attention, a small reminder of how long the place had been left behind.
Must have been some facilities. Philip must be here. Philip must have been here. There's a bullet. Oh, this old house.
As they continued moving through the building, a sudden, unexplained noise stopped them in their tracks. The moment instantly raised the tension and made the exploration feel much more intense.
Sucks that Philip didn't come in.
Who are you? Have you?
There's been a mud. Looks like paint. It's paint, fellas.
The tension grew when they spotted what looked like blood on the floor. After checking closer, it seemed to be paint, but the sight was still disturbing enough to make the place feel even creepier.
How was the view up there? It was pretty nice. It is this one, Joe. Yeah, one of those scenarios where you're the last to go up. You gotta check your corner. Sounded like somebody kicked a bucket or a pail or something is what it sounded like down there.
The strange noise made them move deeper into the building to find out what caused it. It sounded like someone had kicked a bucket or knocked something over, but they kept exploring despite feeling uneasy. Then, without warning, a door suddenly closed on its own, making it seem like something unseen might be nearby.
See this? I haven't been seeing right here.
Look. Should we follow the looks?
Yeah, look, this is a week 4.
See all these looks? Or is this just clickbait? Huh? All these looks and then the arrows.
Oh, it's clickbait. Like, look. Yeah.
I mean,
I guess we'll see. Alright. Here's Andy staying there. If that was you, close this door again, and you can have him.
hell no.
The moment left them shaken, especially after they checked and found no one else nearby. Then the camera caught a quick shadow or movement, making the whole place feel even more unsettling.
And I just looked back and then boom.
Did you get it on the camera?
Yeah, I did.
Dude.
I'm starting to be like, I'm feeling it.
Dude, yeah, I'm kind of getting chills.
I'm getting chilled.
But I don't want to sound like a...
Like, that could have been the wind, to be honest, but that.
Look at that. That's cool. It's like a brick archway up there. You guys can see that or not, but that's pretty cool.
Andy became frightened when he thought he saw a face in the dark water at the bottom of the elevator shaft. Then, another loud sound came from the dumbwaiter, making them even more eager to get out. For Andy, the night turned into one of the most intense and unsettling experiences he had ever filmed. While fishing in Huber Heights, Ohio, this man suddenly spotted something moving far off in the distance.
It's a Bigfoot. Hey, we really might be catching a Bigfoot on video. What the?
In the footage, there seemed to be a human-like figure walking through the trees, but the man said there wasn't even a trail leading to that area, which made the whole thing feel even stranger. Because it was filmed from far away, the video is too blurry to clearly tell what it actually was. Some people think it might have been a smaller, younger Bigfoot, which makes the situation creepier because if that was a young one, then where were the adults? Others believe it was probably just a person or an animal that looked unusual because of the distance and camera angle. Still, Ohio has had plenty of strange sighting stories over the years, so it's easy to see why this clip got people talking. On the night of August 23rd, 2025, Richelle, the creator behind the YouTube channel Richelle G, went to Canal Village to film what seemed like a normal video. But what started as a simple recording quickly turned into something terrifying, as Richelle found herself facing a danger much darker and more sinister than she ever expected.
Buildings. So this is the Erie Canal Village, and this is sort of a place where they've brought in historic buildings from around the community. It sort of happens when you have old buildings, when you uproot them, when you put them on a place of an old fort. So this is also the home of Fort Bull? Nope. Bull? Nope. I'll go back and get that information for you. But just beyond these trees, back here, was the site of an old fort and the Indian-American War, even before the Revolution.
She went inside an old church, one of the only buildings there that visitors could still enter. The moment she stepped in, the atmosphere felt heavy and strangely quiet, completely different from all the noise coming from outside.
I'm in an old church. And actually in this building, it feels very stale. Can you set that ball off for me if you're here? Or come and speak into this camera? Those are my footsteps. That was me. However, that rustling sound after that was not me, but you can see where something has been walking through here, so it might be that.
As she started placing her trigger objects, the silence was suddenly broken by a strange rustling sound. Richelle made it clear it wasn't coming from her own footsteps, and when animal prints were found nearby, it made the situation even more confusing. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that something else was there with her. Then, a clear sound of footsteps came from right in front of her, instantly frightening her and making the whole moment feel much more intense.
Full body chills right now. Did I just hear you? It literally sounded like there was footsteps right in front of me.
Even though the moment was unsettling, Richelle had come there for exactly that kind of experience. Instead of leaving, she tried to stay calm and face whatever might be around her. Hoping to make contact, she began asking questions out loud, wondering if anyone was there and whether they could make one of the lights flicker as a sign.
Literally the first building I've gone into, and I already want to leave. But that was pretty incredible. Hello?
The strange silence inside the church, mixed with the unexplained noises, made the whole place feel even more tense. Richelle admitted she felt like she was being watched, which felt even creepier considering the history of the location. As the investigation continued, another visitor also shared a strange experience they had inside the church, making Richelle's fear feel more valid. The video comes from Haunted Finders, a UK paranormal channel known for overnight investigations in haunted forests and remote woodland areas. This one was filmed on April 10th, 2026, in Bournemouth, Lincolnshire, England.
To a new video where you find us in a massive dense forest. It's not long before it gets dark, roughly about 15-20 minutes. Now, we've never investigated this place before. It was recommended to us by one of you guys that watched the videos. We're in a place called Bournemouth in Lincolnshire. This is a massive forest, dense forest. It was originally part of a much larger forest hundreds of years ago, and there are countless strange occurrences here. Now, when I was recommended this place, I did the first bit of research and found out about the haunting of a witch. There is an older lady who was named Nancy Rutt, but people referred to her as Nanny Rutt, who's said to haunt this forest.
They begin the investigation with only a short window of daylight left, heading into the forest as darkness approaches. While moving deeper, they bring up the area's reported history, including witchcraft stories, shadow figures, screams, voices, and strange animal sightings. This sets the mood early, before anything unusual actually happens.
I thought it sounded like someone was walking up, and then there was sound like someone was whispering. Over there.
The communication device gives one short response, cult. It is brief, random, and hard to connect to anything specific. Still, the word stands out because it is unclear enough to question, but direct enough to make the moment feel unsettling.
Someone's screaming. Yeah. Listen. Oh.
Souls.
Many other souls. Do you know what? I feel weird in here. I'm going all like, it's like I'm spacing out, and then I forget what I'm even doing.
Like you're not.
Like I didn't even know where I was then. Like I completely forgot that we were saying, what is it that you want often? And it said,
chaos.
Many other souls.
Yeah.
Chaos now.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that. Did you hear that?
I heard something, but I couldn't make it
Once
out.
it's out, it's too deep.
The mood becomes more intense when a scream-like noise cuts through the forest, followed by a device response mentioning an offering. After that, the group's approach changes. Their questions become more careful, and their reactions feel more nervous than investigative.
Oh! 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 I did not like that.
Someone up there.
That was somebody.
Oh, keep it going.
That was somebody breathing. That was somebody.
Oh, keep it going.
That was somebody breathing.
The group becomes much more alert as they start hearing footsteps, movement, and sounds from different directions. Then, a breath-like noise comes from right in front of one investigator, making it feel like whatever they are reacting to is no longer far away in the woods, but close to them.
My voice is heard.
My voice is heard.
No,
I've just heard a child. I'm telling you, it was almost like a. I don't know. It could have been a. It sounded more like female, but it could have been a young boy. I don't know. But it was a kid.
Yeah.
That was music. Listen.
Right?
That was music. What? Hello?
Later, another strange sound comes from deeper in the woods, almost like a quick phone alert or electronic chime. It feels out of place in the forest, leaving the group unsure where it came from or what could have made it.
Not up there, no.
Sod that. I feel like we're being followed. I don't like it. There's somebody walking behind us in the pitch black.
Where is it?
They're on their own.
Yeah, I can see him.
Let me see if I can catch it on the camera. He's up there. I can't see it on the camera. He's followed us all the way down that massive road. He's got no torch on. Literally in the pitch black on his own.
As they leave, the final unsettling moment happens. A single figure is seen moving in the dark behind them. There is no light, no clear face, and no way to tell who it is. Only movement through the trees along their route. That exists feels much more tense because after all the earlier sounds and strange responses, seeing someone nearby becomes harder to brush off. The clip builds through small moments rather than one clear event. Odd audio, strange device replies, confusion, close sounds, and then a shadowy figure at the end. Nothing is clear enough to prove anything, but each moment adds pressure until the forest feels impossible to read. A man who works in a tight maintenance garage next to a cemetery says the strange activity there has been getting worse. The place is filled with tools, old equipment, and an orange mower near the back, but he believes something else may be inside. He has recorded odd sounds, bad smells, objects falling on their own, and a heavy feeling in the room. It started after he turned off the lights and was leaving, when he heard an unnatural laugh near the mower. Scared, he took out his phone and went back in to record.
So I was just closing this up, like just locking it up to head out. And I closed the bay and I was closing this door. I shut the lights off, getting ready to close this door, and heard, I swear, I heard a laugh. And it was the most unnerving, and it was such a weird laugh. It sounded like it was coming from that back mower, like something was sitting on that back mower. I should have just left. I should have just left. I should have left it alone. I don't even know what that was, where it came from, where it went. But I'm not sticking around to find out, so I'm out of here. Screw this. I'm out of here. I am not sticking.
As he explains what he heard, a loud metallic crash suddenly comes from somewhere off camera, echoing sharply across the concrete floor. When he checks the area, nothing seems to have moved or fallen, leaving no clear source for the sound. His breathing changes. Fear creeps into his voice, and he quickly backs toward the door before leaving. Later, during a live stream in the same garage, he keeps mentioning a foul smell he cannot identify, describing it as sulfur mixed with decay. The detail feels even more unsettling because the garage sits beside a cemetery, with a church steeple visible through the back window. Then, while speaking to his viewers, something happens that shifts the whole atmosphere.
I really do. Good evening from Australia. Hey, Rachel. Good evening. I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, maybe put phone away from wrench. Yeah, I don't want to come back to a broken phone. Please go get some fries. Yeah, I'm gonna go out. Oh God, it smells almost like a skunk mixed with decay and eggs or something. Asked a priest to bless this place. Yeah, actually, I'll show you guys quick. If you could see, there's actually a church right over there on the other side of the fence. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's not affiliated with the cemetery, but are you working alone? Yes. I run this place alone. Hello, Caroline. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh God, that smell. It's like right in front. Oh my God. All right, guys. All right, I don't want to get into that. All right, guys, I gotta go.
His phone is suddenly knocked out of his hand by something unseen. The camera spins, hits the concrete, and the screen goes dark. When he picks it back up, his voice has completely changed, and he ends the live stream seconds later. The sulfur-like smell also stands out because that kind of rotten egg odor is often linked to darker paranormal stories, even though a smell can't be proven on video. What makes it stranger is that the same detail keeps coming up in the garage. Later, he returns again around dusk after claiming he saw a ball of light moving outside the window. He unlocks the door, steps inside while recording, and almost immediately, the activity starts again.
All right, so I just pulled in. As I was just backing in, I saw either I don't know, some kind of light was in front of this window, and it wasn't like the lights were on in there. It was like a flashlight or I don't know what it was, but I want to start recording as soon as I get it. It was definitely that window. And it wasn't all the light. It wasn't all the lights. All the lights weren't on. It was like I don't know if it was a flashlight or it was like, I don't know. It was like a little ball of light, but it was also had like rays or beams coming from, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was like a flashlight shine. Or flashlight shine or something. Good morning. I see this is on the ground here too. So that somehow fell from there to there by itself overnight. I don't know why it's always this window. I don't know what is the significance with that window. Good morning. Now, I had somebody in one of the lives who said he was a medium and swore he was watching a older man in overalls working at this bench during my live. But that's where that rotten egg smell was emanating from, was that spot over there. So I have no idea if it's related or not, but I had no idea what that ball of light or whatever that light source was. That's why I want to get a camera in here and keep it recording 24/7.
2 crashes happen while he is inside the garage. After the first, he finds a sledgehammer on the floor and says it had been on a wooden table moments earlier. Then another loud clatter comes from a different area. He also mentions that a viewer, claiming to be a medium, once described a man in overalls near the workbench where the rotten egg smell was strongest. He admits there is no proof, but after everything he has recorded, he cannot fully ignore it. Then the activity seems to follow him home. While recording in his living room, he hears what sounds like footsteps near the basement stairs, but captures something even more alarming.
Alright guys, so I just was hearing the walking on the basement steps again. I want to see if I catch it. See if it does it again. It was 4 times. I don't know if it was up, down. It sounded like up, down, up, down. It was right, literally right as I was making coffee. I started hearing it, and it was just, like I said, I heard it 4 times. No, it's not gonna do it. I was making the coffee, I swore I heard knocking on this door.
A black slotted spoon is suddenly thrown from off camera and slides across the kitchen floor. Before it happens, strange animal-like grunts and low, wet snorting sounds can be heard in the room, with no clear source nearby. This makes the activity feel less like normal house noises and more like possible poltergeist activity. Later, he returns to the garage at dusk and claims he sees a misty gray figure shaped like a man standing inside. When he yells, the figure collapses inward and vanishes, almost like it is pulled into one small point in the air. Shaken, he starts recording moments later and explains what he saw.
Alright guys, so I just had something that I cannot explain. I just saw somebody. I literally just saw somebody. I came in, did my normal, Jesus Christ. I came in, did my normal stuff, opened the doors, turned the lights on, set my bag, oh Jesus. Set my bag and coffee over there, came and opened this bay door, turned around, and there was somebody standing there with their back to me. And my reaction, like, at first I was like, hey, like greeting somebody, but then like instantly I realized there's not supposed to be anybody else here. So it turned to like a hey, and then like a a scream. I have not yelled like that. And I can't remember the last time I yelled like that. And when I yelled, this thing just like vanished into itself, like it was sucked into a little pinhole, like it just shoo. And it had its back to me, but it looked like it was slightly starting to turn its head when I yelled. And it was a man, but it was not like dark or like a black shadow. It was like grayish. It was like a misty gray, but I can make out that it was a male. And it, holy, I was literally right in front of this mower, because like I said, I opened that bay and looked, and it just, oh my God, I need cameras in here. I swear I was not further than that, not further than this mower here. You're not welcome here. Any negative or evil spirits, you're not welcome. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. He protects me. His light shines around me and my property and my space. You're not allowed here. You're not allowed to follow me home. You're not allowed to attach to me. You're not welcome. Please find your peace. The Lord's light surrounds me and everywhere I go.
While he is still explaining how the figure vanished, a hacksaw suddenly crashes onto the concrete off to his right, cutting him off mid-sentence. He freezes, then speaks directly to whatever may be inside, warning it not to follow him home. His voice is clearly shaken. The figure he described was not a typical black shadow, but gray, misty, and human-shaped, solid enough to look like a real person at first. Some viewers connect it to the nearby cemetery, while others think the garage may be tied to something from the past. After the crashes, thrown objects, sulfur smell, strange sounds, and the vanishing figure, the activity still seems far from over. Instagram user SquatchWatch1 shared a clip rumored to be from the early 1970s, showing a large upright figure moving across an open area. Unlike most Bigfoot clips filmed deep in thick forests, this one shows the figure fully exposed in a grainy landscape, with long arms swinging as it walks. Some believe it could be an unusual or deformed Bigfoot, while others think the strange appearance might simply come from old 1970s film distortion. But the bigger question remains, is the footage really from 1970, and could something like this actually be real? Kale, the creator of the Paranormal Patch, is known for visiting abandoned places and documenting the stories left behind. During one trip to the abandoned Arthur Brisbane Child Development Center, the experience became more disturbing than she expected. After walking nearly a mile through the woods, she reached the isolated building with her camera, ready to begin the investigation.
I'm here at the Arthur Brisbane Child Development Center. I don't even know what this place is called, and I'm not even inside yet. I am sneaking around in the woods, and I am red as hell because it is really, really hot today. We're here. We're doing a little bit of urban exploring. I had to literally walk a mile in the woods until I even saw my first building, and I'm being quiet. I don't know if you can see, but there's a building right there, and there's like a pavement here. We have to go past that building to get to where I'm trying to go. And this is everything that I've been walking through. Straight woods. So, let's get.
Kaylee wanted to explore the abandoned site and learn what had been left behind, even though one of the buildings had already been damaged by fire. After a long walk through the woods, she reached the complex and noticed several old buildings, along with a worn-out basketball court. Inside what seemed to be the dorm area, she found rusted lockers, old beds, and a dirty mirror, quiet signs of the people who once lived there.
Lockers. Here's some beds and a mirror. Okay. I'm trying to look out the window to see if there's any cars. And I don't actually see any. Like I said, let me get out of the window. I walked through the woods to get here, about a whole mile and a half to get into this building. But there's more, there's a bigger one, so I don't know if there's any cars. There is a main road, but I wasn't risking it going on that road. I know that the security here is heavy because someone set one of these buildings on fire before. So they watch the place now. It's definitely interesting. There's a bathroom, guys. Oh, this place up. Cool. I like how green it is in here. What's over here?
Even though the buildings were badly damaged and falling apart, Kale kept moving carefully, watching for any signs of movement or security nearby. As she entered the schoolhouse, every small sound seemed to echo through the space, making the place feel even more unsettling. She explored broken classrooms and an abandoned gym while thinking about the center's disturbing history as a harsh place for children. Further inside, she noticed something strange. Some sections had been sealed off, while others were completely open, making the whole place feel even more mysterious.
I don't know why they have half of it boarded up and then some of the doors are just open. I don't understand that. There's a laundry bucket. Ooh, I really like that lamp over there. Did y'all see that? Look at that lamp. It's like a dome lamp. I think that's pretty cool.
Kale's exploration became disturbing when a door suddenly moved as she got close to it. She tried to find a normal explanation, but the movement left her shaken. Soon after, more doors began opening and closing on their own, echoing through the empty halls. Feeling like something was there with her, Kale quickly left through a hole in the wall.
What door was doing that? What's this? What one is it? Y'all just watched me walk past all of that. What door is that? What door? What door is doing that? Dude. I'm leaving. I'm going through this hole. But first, can I write? Is that chalk? Looking for some chalk. I want to write on this. I definitely want some chalk. Is that chalk? What is all that? That's not chalk. How dare they not leave me any chalk to write with? Alright, let's get out of here.
At first, Kale thought the doors might be moving because of the wind, but the repeated motion stayed on her mind. She continued exploring nearby dorm buildings and found plastic safety beds, another reminder of the place's dark history. Eventually, she trusted her gut and left. Whether it was wind, the old structure shifting, or something more disturbing, the place clearly had a heavy past. What do you think made the doors move? Let us know in the comments. On March 1st, 2026, Shane, the explorer behind SBX Lore, went to an abandoned school to film what first looked like a normal exploration vlog. But as soon as the size of the building became clear, the whole place started to feel unsettling, setting a tense mood for the investigation from the beginning.
All right, guys, so we got in, and let's get straight to the exploration. That's creepy as hell.
As Shane and his team moved through different parts of the school, the building's age and damage became more obvious. They came across old books and what looked like a small artifact, giving a glimpse into the history left behind inside the place. Because it was so dark, they even talked about coming back during the day. But the mood became more tense when they noticed signs of recent activity, including tags and graffiti, making them wonder if they were really alone.
This was up here earlier. Someone's been here. What's that? That's a pretty good area. Yeah, that's a boiler room. We can go back down there. Everybody's like tag. That's cool. This is the art room. That's like the kiln. Yeah. Yeah. If they're looking here, it probably doesn't work very well. It probably did when they left it. Stupid heavy. Yeah, it's super dead.
When they moved down into the lower levels, they found clear signs that the area had flooded before. A water line was still visible on the chalkboards, and in some spots the carpet had started falling apart due to the damage.
This is what was flooded in the video.
Oh, it was flooded.
This is the part that was flooded in the summer.
Just full of water.
You can see the water line on the chalkboard. So that's where the water was. That's insane. All this was underwater to here.
More than 3 feet.
Yeah.
As they kept exploring, Shane and his team moved through more areas of the school, including what looked like the gym entrance and a few spaces that seemed like someone had been there recently. But the mood quickly changed when they heard what sounded like shots somewhere in the distance, making the situation feel suddenly dangerous.
It's paying us for animals gabapentin. That's what.
Oh, that's gunshots.
We should probably do it there. Let's get out to the car. We gotta go.
Damn.
Oh my god. That was intense. Oh. Straight down. Holy.
The sound changed everything, and Shane's team quickly decided it wasn't safe to keep exploring. As the shots continued, they rushed to get out of the building and make their way back to the car as fast as possible. Once they finally reached the vehicle, they talked about what they had heard and agreed it sounded like a real shootout nearby.
That was insane. All right, you boys ready? Everybody ready?
Yep.
We move as a unit. Everybody good? Let's roll.
Leaving was clearly the right call because the situation had become too risky. The team talked about how exploring abandoned places can be dangerous, especially in areas where trouble might already be nearby. Even with the scare, they were still glad they captured footage of the theater and gym. But they also admitted that sometimes overreacting is the smart choice when safety is involved. In the end, they decided not to return to that school anytime soon, but promised more exploration in the future. What would you have done in that situation? A hiker was making his way through the forest when heavy footsteps suddenly came from the trees nearby. He quickly started recording, and the footage showed a tall, dark, human-like figure moving calmly in the distance. The sight clearly left him unsettled, but like many clips of this kind, the video quality is too unclear to confirm what was actually captured. The clip was posted on Stringer Media in April 2025. In the video, two urban explorers enter an abandoned estate tucked away in a quiet forest somewhere in the United States. The home once belonged to Ms. K, a French teacher and lifelong traveler who had passed away years earlier. She had no children, lived with several rescue cats, and had even turned the upper floor into a small bed and breakfast. As the explorers move through the main floor, they find a house filled with pieces of her life: books, maps, European travel keepsakes, and cat decorations everywhere. Even though the place is heavily packed, it still feels organized, almost like a private museum rather than a normal abandoned home. After exploring that area, they head toward a dark side room believed to be her bedroom, but the moment they step inside, they come across something deeply shocking and heartbreaking.
This one must have been her bedroom by the looks of it. And I say this because, I don't know, usually you see the beds sort of downstairs where it's easy to move around, and I just realized the bed is like very brown. It's very possible she passed away on this bed, come to think of it. I don't know, hopefully that's not the case. And
my brain wasn't processing at what I was seeing. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Oh, that's weird. That's like hair. Maybe from an animal, though. Oh, what? Wait a second.
The mattress is dark brown and badly stained, standing out in a way that feels wrong even for an abandoned house. At first, the explorer seems to hope it is just a mistake or something being misread, but after looking closer, he notices what appears to be hair near the bed, along with one large discolored mark on the floor beside it. That stain looks different from everything else in the room. Once he sees it, the pieces start to connect, and the entire discovery suddenly feels far more disturbing.
The floor is like discolored in this one area for some reason. I don't know why. There's like nowhere else on the floor that it's discolored like this. I just realized there's like a pool of liquids that kind of went down here. Oh, that is... So it just must have happened right here. That's very, very sad. This was all her. This was definitely her room. This is definitely stuff she's filmed herself, I believe. Oh, it's so weird being in here now. Whole lot of books here. Let me film this and get out. Yeah, look at that. Does that not look like something strange happened? Anyways, walking kind of through here. Oh man.
As the discovery sinks in, the room starts to feel completely different. The bed, the stains, and the damaged patch on the floor no longer seem like ordinary decay. They begin to feel like signs of a final moment left behind in the house. The disturbing possibility is that this may be the exact room where Ms. K passed away. Shaken but trying to stay composed, the explorer keeps looking around for more answers, knowing the next detail could either support that fear or make the mystery even darker. Soon after, he notices smaller signs left by people who entered the house after her death.
Oh, dude. She totally passed away here. That's like for the hazmat crew. Somebody left their shoe behind. Oh, jeez. Get me out of here. She passed away in that room.
Did she actually?
Yes. Why? Dude, there's like fluids all over the floor and on the bed.
Really?
Yeah.
So she could have been dead there and no one knew until, someone came to check on her.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to the cats?
They
also
were all around. I don't know.
Standing in that room, the explorers realize this is not just an old bedroom left behind, but the remains of a tragic scene. The protective cleanup items, the stained mattress, and the marked floorboards all point to the place where Ms. K likely spent her final moments. After taking in the weight of it, they leave the room quietly and move upstairs, where the guest area feels strangely peaceful, with beds still arranged as if visitors could arrive at any time. That calm space makes the bedroom below feel even more heartbreaking. Ms. K had died alone in her downstairs room and was not found until much later. With no heirs to take over, the bank eventually claimed and sold the property, leaving her belongings exactly where they were. The explorers were not just walking through an abandoned house, but through the last untouched pieces of someone's life. A quiet bed and breakfast, a home full of memories, and one room that marked the lonely end of Ms. K's story. The video comes from Exploring with Bear, a US-style solo wilderness and paranormal survival channel known for overnight camps in remote forest areas. On March 10th, 2026, Bear arrived alone at a secluded campsite in a forest known as a Bigfoot hotspot. He set up his tent beside a narrow trail, surrounded by thick vegetation on all sides. The area had very limited visibility, with the dense forest blocking the view after only a short distance. At first, everything seemed calm, quiet, and under control.
If you spot something, screenshot it and then post it to the community post on the channel page so we can all see it. It's opened up to all you guys. So it looks like it splits off two ways. Oh.
Bear walked through the area around his camp, following rough paths covered with growth. The ground looked neglected, like hardly anyone had passed through in a long time. Nothing stood out as fresh or unusual, and the woods stayed silent, giving the place a completely isolated feeling.
It is much later now. The sun is going down. I think it is time for us to get the fire going. So yeah, let's jump on this fire here and get the steak going. All right, we just got to wait for that to catch, get some good coals, and then bust out that ribeye steak. Maybe.
Then the mood changed. Bear caught sight of something moving far back among the trees. He tried to zoom in for a clearer look, but the shape vanished before anything could be confirmed. No clear figure, no solid proof. Just a brief movement in the woods, then nothing.
Hold on. Hold on, I need to get a flashlight. Oh, come on. It's not working? Some more smoke I still can't see. Whoop! Oh man, let me get this light out of my face. I can't see crap.
Another heavy knock came from the same direction, with the same sharp sound. At that point, it no longer felt accidental. Bear later mentioned 2 separate tree crashes and more movement outside the camp while speaking live. Then fog started drifting in, thick enough to block parts of the forest from view. The campsite began to feel trapped between the sounds in the trees and the fog closing around him.
What in the world is that thing? This is insane.
Near the edge of the tent's light, small reflective spots appeared in the darkness, almost like eyes watching from the fog. They only showed for a moment, and the poor visibility made it impossible to tell what they were. Then, through the haze, a vague shape moved close to the campsite. Bear reacted fast and tried to follow it, but the fog blocked any clear view. Something had moved, but its source stayed unknown. There was no solid proof, no clear figure, and no direct encounter. Only knocks, crashes, reflections, and a shadowy movement building the tension. By the end, the scariest part was not how far away it was, but how easily the forest hid it. On November 3rd, 2025, Blue from uncharted Alberta visited a remote abandoned industrial site with a companion. At first, the video seemed like a normal exploration vlog, but the building's atmosphere felt disturbing almost immediately. Its isolated setting and dark industrial look gave the entire visit an eerie, uncomfortable tone from the start.
So, we don't know what this place is. It's literally just an abandoned building, but we're gonna try and find out. Hopefully they have some kind of documents in there. Yeah.
As the exploration began, Blue and his companion moved carefully around the outside of the site. The building looked massive, damaged, and neglected, making the place feel intimidating before they even stepped fully inside.
Holy what? Yo, This is creepy. I hear something. Pigeons.
Oh.
I think. Yep. Pigeons. Holy. This place is like seen better days.
Yeah.
Check this out. Yeah, it's a turbine.
That's film.
Oh, this too, eh? What? That's crazy.
All those canisters in that room there?
They entered the building and immediately noticed a strong smell of decay. Deeper inside, they found large abandoned machines and rows of old film canisters, showing what the place had once been used for. The site clearly had an industrial past, once full of machinery, workers, and constant noise. Now, all of that had been replaced by a heavy silence. As Blue and his companion moved deeper into the area, the tension grew stronger. Then, without warning, a sharp sound broke through the quiet.
That's not a pigeon.
That's not a pigeon?
No, that's an animal. That's a critter.
If it wasn't for the fact that people already warned me about the pigeons, I would have already ran out of here in my pants. Look at all that poop.
The sound was not from pigeons, as they first assumed. Something much larger was moving in the dark. Their focus shifted to several shadowy figures ahead, and it quickly became clear that they were not alone. The size of the creatures, along with how many seemed to be there, instantly made the situation feel dangerous.
Yeah, that's huge. That's massive. Holy. What the hell is that?
Well, that's not creepy at all.
Wonder how many of them are in here. There's one right there.
Oh.
There's two of them.
Did you not hear it squeaking?
Oh. Have you ever seen the movie Birds? Holy shit. I don't think they like the light. Well, they're probably very scared.
The camera lights seemed to irritate the creatures, making them act more aggressively. Then, one of them suddenly lunged forward with quick, unsettling movement. The moment turned frightening fast as the explorers realized they could actually be attacked inside the dark building.
That was creepy.
How did you die? By pigeon.
By a pigeon. They're just spazzing out. You alright? Here's the back door.
The situation quickly changed from exploring to trying to get out safely. Sirens could be heard in the distance, but the fear of being caught trespassing no longer mattered. Whatever was inside the building felt like the bigger threat.
Whoa. Blue.
Oh, it's cut out.
Hello?
They rushed to get out, caught between the unknown threat inside and the chance of police arriving outside. After escaping the building, they were clearly shaken and chose to move on to another location, but the uneasy feeling stayed with them. As they reached an old broken-down bridge, its height and unstable condition made the next part feel just as dangerous.
This bridge used to be red. They painted it. I'm not sure when they painted it, but I'm out of here. I'm getting sketched out. It's just so high, guys. And like, this is so thin. Oh, man. Oh, man.
The drop below the bridge was huge, making every step feel risky. As they moved across, the fear of falling stayed in their minds. At the same time, the sense of being watched grew stronger, especially when twigs began snapping in the woods around them.
I heard twigs break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep going. Probably an animal, maybe. Or maybe it was something.
The uneasy presence seemed to follow them, making it feel like whatever they escaped from had not stayed behind.
I don't know why, but I kind of feel like we're being followed right now. Like it just started, like just ran, like right now.
I got that weird vibe too.
I feel it. Something's following us. Or watching us, I don't know. This is so scary. This. What is that? Did you hear that? Okay, let's get the out of here. Run! It's coming! It's coming! Did you see that? What?
A sudden noise made them panic and run through the dark woods. Their fear took over as they pushed forward, trying to get away from whatever seemed to be following them. They eventually escaped, but the experience left them deeply shaken.
Scary. Because like I was like trying to climb. I could just hear this thing like moving behind me.
I couldn't see what it was either.
I saw like something. I don't know what it was, but there was something down there. I think it might have been a deer. I don't know though. There was something.
They never clearly saw what was chasing them, but the sounds, speed, and presence felt impossible to ignore. What started as an adventurous exploration had turned into pure fear, and the woods no longer felt safe. After escaping, Blue and his companion were left shaken and certain they would not return there at night. Whether the encounter was real or staged remains unclear, but for Blue, it became one of the most intense experiences he had ever filmed. Meet Jared, creator of the YouTube channel Jared Coker, known for exploring abandoned places. One night, he returned to a closed college campus where his first video had been filmed, but the visit quickly turned tense after a barking dog exposed his presence.
That video that I reference in that clip right there is actually one of the videos that I think has kind of flown the most like under the radar on this channel. It's just kind of gone the most unnoticed. It's the one titled Exploring a Not So Abandoned College Dorm. So right now the bare essentials as I look to make my way in, which honestly right here seems as good as any. We have here an entire college campus. Now this campus is not abandoned, but it is closed. There has not been like organized like actual college using this place in I think a couple years now. That's a scary dog. My apologies right now. There won't be any lights until I feel safe to turn on a light. Just so you can get an idea right now, we are behind one of the buildings or right up on it. Wait for that dog to shut its annoying yappy trap over there. And then I'll go out again. Now, this dog is very important to this video. This dog is what I believe caused everything in this video to go wrong for me. Obviously you saw I took some, it was kind of dark in the footage, but I took some kind of side entrance into this place. All the driveways to drive up into the parking lots are blocked off, but there's no actual fence around it, so I just kind of walked up onto the property. And the way I took back onto there is right next to some neighborhood.
Jared stayed hidden for 10 to 15 minutes, hoping the barking dog would quiet down. When it kept going, he moved on with the exploration. While walking around the largest building on campus, he found an open basement window he had never noticed before. Inside, the building still had furniture, making it feel less abandoned than the dorms and hinting that it had been used more recently.
Shadows got out of sight and waited. It didn't shut up. I sat there for 10 to 15 minutes and I was looking at my watch as I sat there. It was at least 10 minutes. It kept on going. It would not stop. So I finally just decided to continue on with the mission. Okay, we need to get this mission on. I'm here, you know, behind one of these buildings. That dog is a literal demon. I've sat here for 10 minutes. It has not shut up. We need to just get on with this. Any openings in this building? Holy crap. We got one. Alright. Let me establish myself here and then I'll get out my main, bigger flashlight. This is not a building I was able to get into last time in here. Got a lot of furniture in this one.
As Jared moved through the dark building, his flashlight passed over empty rooms and silent halls. Then, he noticed a light outside. Moments later, another flashlight started coming from the same direction where the dog had been barking. That was when it clicked. Someone had seen his light.
There's a light. There's a light out there. Gotta go check that out. I don't know why. Looking back on it, I really don't know why, but I felt comfortable enough to blast my giant flashlight in the basement of this building. Easily that light could pour on out. And when I moved my light away so I got some darkness over into the spot, I could tell that my worst fear had come true. There was another light, someone else's flashlight, walking straight towards the building from the direction I had come to get to the place, from the direction where the dog had been barking. And they were walking right up to the place, right towards where I had just shown my light towards, so they would have had to have seen it. Oh crap. There's a guy over there, coming this way.
Panicked, Jared rushed to a side door, but it was tied shut, leaving him with only one way out, the same window he had climbed through. He turned off his flashlight and moved quietly down the hallway while beams of light passed across the windows. To avoid being spotted, he ducked behind couches and chairs, trying to stay hidden as the search closed in around him.
So it's at this moment that I realized I'm trapped in this place. As you saw, when I first got into there, I got in through the window, walked down through this big open space, which looked like it was under renovation, and then walked down this hallway into this area where all the furniture and stuff was. My only way back out of there, at least to my knowledge at that point, was going back down that hallway. So what I do is, obviously I've got my light completely off now, I'm under the cover of darkness, so I start tiptoeing back down this hallway. Here's where this video gets really scary. He was shining a light in this place. There he is. That's his light. They're all looking up in here. I was in were these rooms off to the side. I was standing in the space between the rooms where I had a little bit of wall between me and where they were, with the windows in those other rooms. I'm in the hallway, the rooms are right behind me, and each room has a window. So those lights you were seeing were coming from their flashlights, and I had just a little sliver of wall keeping me out of their flashlight beams. I was inches away from them seeing me. If I'd have timed it wrong and been in those open doorways while their lights were pouring in, I would have been right in their beams and they would have seen me. So what I did was I crept back down the hall, back into the open room where I first originally saw them, where all that furniture was. I got over to where some of the couches and chairs were on the other side, opposite of where they were originally shining the lights in, and I just crouched down. I got underneath one of the windows on the other side just in case they came around and shone it in that window so I couldn't be seen. I'm just laying low behind all this furniture here. Just hoping for the coast to be clear soon. You know the crazy thing? If I'd have waited outside any longer for Demon Dog to shut up, they would have just caught me right out there. Yet at the same time, me having gone in here.
While hiding behind the furniture, Jared realized the situation had turned against him. Staying outside might have exposed him, but entering the building had left him trapped. After a long wait, the flashlights finally disappeared, and the area went quiet again. Still shaken, he moved carefully, worried they might still be waiting somewhere in the dark.
In my little safe haven for, I think it was about 10-15 minutes. I wasn't seeing any more lights coming in the windows. I wasn't hearing anything. So eventually I got up the courage to kind of get up and start walking around in just the pitch black again. Obviously I wasn't going to turn on any lights. But at the same time, I was terrified of trying to sneak back out. Because like I say in the footage, I was convinced that if I tried to go back to the window, they were just going to be sitting there in the dark waiting. Like, I thought that it had all gone quiet because they were there waiting for me. That's what I thought anyway. I'm really lucky they didn't go over to that doorway.
Jared moved carefully through the dark building, worried that the window exit might be watched. Instead, he found a door leading into another connected building, which opened on the opposite side of the campus. That route finally allowed him to escape safely. Although the experience left him shaken, Jared believed trusting his instincts helped him get out. Even after the scare, the campus still pulled him back later, this time with friends, making it one of the closest calls he had ever shared.
Trust going over to the window yet. We're here at a place that I hadn't even checked out yet. There's a lot of exposed windows, so this is a danger. But I need to see if there's an unlocked door I can get out over here. Okay. Here's hoping. Oh my goodness. I need to shut this quiet. Oh, that was kind of loud. So, much to the relief of my pounding heart, I pressed on that door in that little section, like I was talking about, that led to the second building, and it opened, and I was able to get out. Now, what was especially fortunate for me about that was that door that opened actually led in the opposite direction. I'm on the other side of the building. Oh, that makes noise. I better just walk across campus. It is a good thing that I just sat by. Who knows, if I tried to run out of there sooner, they may have been sitting there waiting. I don't know if they actually checked the other side at all. But I am so out of here. Alright, once I'm back on the road, I'm all in the clear. Okay, we're good. We're good. We made it out alive. Good Lord. I feel as though I could have pulled that off a lot better had it not been for that dog. Either way, I don't know if I want to ever try that again. It's so tempting because I really do want to explore that whole place, but that was way too close. Way too.
Spirits may be unsettling, but real people can be far more dangerous. Luckily, Jared never had to find out what the people outside truly wanted. His instincts and quick escape kept him safe, leaving the mystery of that night and the not-so-abandoned campus unanswered. Abandoned places can feel exciting to explore, but this case shows how fast a normal visit can turn into a desperate escape. This unsettling video was filmed in Spain, where a man named Casos was at home trying to rest after feeling sick. He just wanted a quiet day to recover, but that calm was broken when strange sounds started coming from the kitchen. At first, he tried to ignore it and assumed it was probably something simple, like a pet moving around or an object shifting, but the noise kept bothering him, so Casos grabbed his phone and went to check it out. What he ended up recording left him genuinely shaken.
Vuelvo a cerrar. Tengo la taza. Está. Ese es mi bebé. Esa pulguita es mi bebé, que se llama Canela. Y esperando. Para que vean esta piolita. Ya, ahí empezó. Ya. Vaya a empezar a huevear. Estoy hueveando. Bueno. No es algo muy normal. La taza se movió. El gato. No es muy agradable la sensación que se vive acá. Ya, es hueveo, ya. Ya cabros, un ratito para afuera.
As he watched, a coffee mug on the counter slowly slid across the surface by itself. A few moments later, it moved again, almost like something invisible was trying to get his attention. There was no wind, no shaking, and no one else inside the house, which made the movement even harder to explain. It was slow, controlled, and strange enough that if Casos hadn't recorded it, most people probably wouldn't have believed him. After the clip went online, it quickly spread, with many viewers convinced it showed real paranormal activity. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.